What the fuck is up, everyone? Prison Middler here, back with another album review. I know it's been a while, for quite a while since I did an album review, but as you may know, I'm reviewing All That Remains' new album, Antifragile, which came out today. And, as you may know, this is the band's first album in over 6 years. Their last album came out as Victim of the New Disease, which came out in late 2018. And yeah, for some reason the band disappeared for quite a while and then they started to come back with a new album. Now, my thoughts on this album. It's an album. I mean, I'll say this. It's not one of those stinker albums by All That Remains. I'll give it that. It's fine, I guess. There's some of the songs that do stand out, some of the songs that don't. I'll bring out some examples. The album starts off with the track, first single, Divisive, which the song came out almost a year ago. I'll admit, the song did hit. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like a typical All That Remains song, typical metalcore type song. And then, yeah, it's a decent song. I'll give it that. Definitely one of the stronger ones. Although, I'll say some things that I'm somewhat impressed. I do like its production. As you may know, the producer on this album is Josh Wilbert. He is also the producer of Trivium's last 3 albums, from Sin of the Sins 2 and Court of the Dragon. He also produced these albums, and he did a pretty good job at mixing and producing these albums. I'll give it that. There's some fine production on this album. And it's got some good guitar work from Jason Richardson. I think he was from deathcore bands Born of Osiris and Chelsea Grin. And I think the bassist, I forgot his name. This is his first time back in the band since their second album, The Starkened Heart. And it has some pretty cool riffs here and there. But there are some songs that are just... I'm not a fan of the song No Tomorrow. It's just one of those songs from their stinker albums with this butt rockish sound. And they can just take that off. Like, same with the next song after that, which I forgot it was called. But it sounds like a butt rockish song to me. And no, I'll pass. But... as for the rest, I mean, some hit, some don't. Like, Anti-Fragile, the title track, which did kind of hit. I'll admit, the song Cut Their Tongues Out, the 9th track, that song did hit. I kind of like this little jet sound at the breakdown section, which is kind of cool. I mean, it got some cool moments, and then there are some few songs that are just, nah, I don't care. And then we got the closing track, Blood and Stone, which is an almost under 6 minute track. They can do a lot more with this one. I mean, they can do a lot more. I mean, it kind of starts off slow, and then it got some more fast tempo type sound to it, and it's just meh. It could have more. It's just not what I expected, but it's fine. I mean, what do you expect from All That Remains? You expect some heavier sounds, some little boring ass ballads. I mean, it doesn't have that much as their last few albums. I'll say it that. It's just only 2 songs and that's it. But as for everything else, it's just something you hear from All That Remains. It's just, you hear some catchy choruses, you hear some growls and some screams or something like that. It's really nothing you really heard from All That Remains. And it's got some nice guitar work. Phil has got some nice vocals, too, for him here and here from time to time throughout the entire album. But as for originality, it lacks a lot of it, to tell you the truth. Like, a lot. Just like from their last few albums. And no, this is not a Return to Roots album either. Just like, if many people say it's a Return to Roots album, it's really not. Just a few songs, that's just it. Just like their last album. I mean, this, again, the song Cut Their Tongue Out, it kind of has this hard-hitting gent sound in the third act of the song, with the breakdowns, with the crushing guitar riffs, with your head bopping up and down. It's got some nice moments on that with that type of song. It kind of has this feel back to the fall of the Ideals, but not quite yet. I would say I can give credit to All That Remains for going back to their consistent sound, just like what they did with their last album. But as for the 3 albums before that, not much. They kind of fixed the massive mistakes from the Stinker 3 albums, from A War You Cannot Win to Madness, those 3 pieces of shit albums, to tell you the truth. Hopefully they won't go back to that route ever again. I have a feeling they were about to do it with this album, but they didn't. I mean, Poison It does have has the closest sound to the Fall of Ideals a bit with a mixture of Overcome. It kind of has, I have to say, it's probably one of their strongest songs in quite a long time, which I could give credit for with this one. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece of a song or anything, but I could give props to that type of song. And then there are some snooze fest tracks like No Tomorrow, which is kind of a snoozer fest, to be honest with you. Even though the production is still great, it has some cool guitar solos and such. But it's just mainly a really repetitive chorus and such. I mean, it's got some nice solos, cool riffs and such, but it's kind of a dull track, to be honest with you. Well, I don't really have a lot to say. All I have to say, the album in general, it's still predictable. It's still the same. It's still formulaic, but at the same time, it's very well produced. It has great vocals from Phil Labonte. It's got some great riffs. It got some cool drumming too. But it's kind of but at the same time, I kind of sort of expect to get from All That Remains. Again, it's still a predictable album, but at least it's not A War You Cannot Win, Order of Things, and Madness. At least it's not those three shitty albums. So yeah, guys, I don't really have a lot of opinions to say about this album. It feels like another All That Remains album. I don't really have other words, so I'm going to give this a middle, I'll give this a 2.5 out of 5. It's fine. It's not good. It's not bad. It's fine. I thought this would be a stinker of an album, but it's not. It's nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be, but I wouldn't say it's a great album or anything. It will not be the best album, but it will not be the worst. I'll give it that. So, yeah, am I willing to check out the next All That Remains after that? Maybe. I don't know. Is this better than their last album? I don't know. I also gave their last album a 2.5 out of 5 as well. So, these two, but I can say those two albums are way better than the three albums. A War You Cannot Win, Order of Things, and Madness. But yeah, all I have to say is, All That Remains, they're a hit or miss band for me. I think there's way better metalcore bands than All That Remains, to tell you the truth. I don't hate the band. I don't think they're terrible. It's just, I don't really go back to this band that much. I mean, as much as I go with Killswitch Engage, Trivium, Bleeding Through Unearth, or Between the Buried and Me. But yeah, All That Remains, they're kind of a hit or miss band to me, to tell you the truth. So yeah, again, I don't hate the band. They're just a mid band for me, to tell you the truth. They're not the worst band, though. I've heard worse bands than this. They do have some cool high qualities with albums like Fall of Ideals and Overcome. So I'll give it that. Alright guys, so that's my review of All That Remains' new album, Antifragile. So what are your thoughts on this album? Let me know in the comments. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Subscribe for more content and all that. More album reviews, reviewing every album series. I will be reviewing every Killswitch Engage album next, just to let y'all know, since they also have a new album coming out. But until then, guys... Oh, and speaking of Bleeding Through, they also have a new album coming out, which I might do a review every album by them as well. So, until then, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the fuck out of here, so I'm out.